Brown in place of the injured Artur Boric, while Scott Brown and Massimo Donati. Celtic started the defence of their title with Mark Brown in place of the injured Artur Boric, while Scott Brown and Massimo Donati made their SPL debuts in midfield. Despite all the recent speculation, Jim Jeffries was still able to call upon Scotland's Young Player of the Year, Stephen Naismith. He played on the right with Jamie Hamill directly up against Scott Brown. The referee at Celtic Park, Craig Thompson.
Rangers kicked off with a 3-0 win at Inverness Caley-Thistle. Celtic, it's over to you to see what you can do. Naylor's cross, Fernandez of Hesselink was onside, but it's gone back over towards McGeady. And this time he's run it out, but Celtic should have been in front.
The ball comes in, he's not offside, and I think he is trying to square it there, actually.
Donati out to Wilson. James Fowler screening that. McManus has lost out to Nish. Oh, come on, it could be away. Only Kennedy back, and Naismith puts it through, and Johnston is onside. Has he got the legs to keep going? Oh, Celtic escape.
Well, if you have to look at a full-back getting back, and look at Mark Wilson. In the end, great defensive play from Celtic, but initially very poor. And you just know that Johnston hasn't got the pace to get right through here, but Wilson has the pace to get back.
On by Donati for Zarafsky. That's poor, he's giving it to Stephen Naismith. Naismith drilling wide, but Kilmarnock getting some glimpses of goal. Wilson. Massimo Donati. And Zarafsky! Unable to get the better of Alan Combe.
Well, a big hole appeared in the Kilmarnock defence. It's a nice ball in from Donati, and you fancy Zarafsky from here.
Well, they've signalled to the bench that it's game over for Fowler, I think that is.
See here, just Hartley with a straight leg that catches Fowler on the outside of the ankle, and as he lands, ow, that is a bad one.
The last minute of the first half. Will Kilmarnock see it through to half-time. Hartley floats it in, and Kennedy, well, somehow he fired over.
Well, it turned out to be a real chance. Kennedy goes up and the ball just drops for him. He can't get over it, that's the problem. He's leaning back a little bit. Falls to his left foot, you can just see there, it's always going up.
McGeady. Zarafsky for Venegor of Hesselink. Hartley now for Wilson. Scott Brown. Hartley! Forcing Alan Combe to tip it over. Hartley looking for his first Celtic goal.
Well, this is more like Paul Hartley. It's a nice ball in from Brown, but he arrives late. At times in the first half he was up in the attacking area, I think, a bit too quickly for him.
Gary Hay seems to be struggling. Well, he's had an ankle injury. Well, he was clutching further up there by the look of it.
Yeah, I think that's his hamstring.
Dodds with the free kick. Fraser Wright having a go at it. Colin Nish. And Simon Ford. What a chance missed by Ford. Kilmarnock could have stunned Celtic Park then.
Oh dear. This is a very bad one to miss. Finds himself completely unmarked. I think it must be easier to score from there. Can't get any power in it. It's going up all the time. Terrible miss. It's a real chance for Kilmarnock.
McGeady. Benegor of Hesseling sets it up for Naylor. And Zaraski, great save from Alan Combe. And then Zaraski is poked in wide.
Oh, what a save. Alan Combe. That's what it's about for a goalkeeper. He's not had too much to do. Absolutely brilliant save, a reaction save from Zaraski, and he gets a second bite at it, but he can't get that one on target.
Gibson. He's taken the place of Gary Hay, and he's having a run at Mark Wilson. Oh, he's got it across to Nish. Another chance goes begging for Kilmarnock. Colin Nish this time.
It's a great play down the left-hand side. When the ball comes in, look at this run from Nish across. Defender, I think it's Kennedy's going to cross. It's a lovely ball in. Just asking for a striker to go and attack it.
The seconds tick away. Wilson's cross, Benegor Hesseling down for Brown. And Alan Combe has to tip it over. And we're going to get a corner right at the end.
Oh, that's a great save. He's going backwards. As Brownie gets the touch.
It's actually a Killie player off getting treatment.
He looks to be in some pain as well.
I think that is Fernandez, who sadly is getting stretchered away on his return from injury. If anyone can win this game in the last seconds, Celtic can. Nakamura in, and it's going to come to Naylor, and Alan Combe grabs hold of it, and Kilmarnock surely grab hold of a point. It's all over. Cheers for Celtic, but a magnificent display from Jim Jeffries' Kilmarnock. The champions frustrated on the first weekend. It finishes here. Celtic 0, Kilmarnock 0.
Started well, composing the feet around the box and good movement, liked it. Second half, game we got different, but we still got loads of balls in the box and crosses, and so we had plenty of chances, but we couldn't finish. So.
Well, everybody would think it's David's knee, you know, but he's had a real, I think it was an accidental elbow, but it's caught him right in the corner of the eye, and it's obviously there's bleeding in there, and really painful, and you can see how distraught he was when he came in. And Gary Hay pulled a hamstring, and James Fowler away to hospital as well to see if there's any crack in his ankle when he's come down and landed awkwardly. So we could do without it, but we'll get used to it.
Really should have. What can they do to improve on that this season?
Well, I think this was actually the turning point in the game. You know, Jan Benegor of Hesseling had a fantastic chance, and he kind of got caught in two minds and screwed it across the goal. I think if that goes in, obviously it's a different game. But they've really got to address it. They've got Scott McDonald, but Celtic shouldn't really be waiting on Scott McDonald to come in. You know, he's not one of the high-profile signings for them to score goals. They've got Zaraski, they've got Kenny Miller, got Benegor of Hesseling, they've got Scott Brown who can push up there.
They should be though, John. I mean, who do you think is the recognised front two, the best pairing up front for Celtic?
I think for the SPL, I would go with Benegor of Hesseling and Scott McDonald when Scott's out of suspension. But you may still have proven that partnership can work, and you mean Celtic have got to find goals. The difference last season, Grant, was those 0-0s, Celtic were scraping 1-0s. You mean all through the season, really. They were nicking goals late on in games, and you mean it's a bad start. That's 2 points behind Rangers, but it's a good time for it to come because there's a long, long way to go.
Would you persevere with that partnership, Graham?
Not necessarily. I think Benegor of Hesseling is a stick-on, but I agree with Strachan. Strachan thinks that Zaraski is a class striker. Zaraski's done really well internationally with Poland. He's a hero in Poland. He's had some injury problems at Celtic. He's now, I think, into his third season. I think Zaraski is a top player, but I think what he needs is fitness in a run of games. I would not go with Scott McDonald, no. If you're talking first and second choice, and I wouldn't go with Killie either.
John, there was a lot of eyes on Scott Brown and Donati, obviously, as well. How do you think they coped in the first competitive outing at Parkhead?
I think it's difficult. I think they'll both find it a little bit more difficult to come in and start the season at Celtic. Andy will know it's a lot heavier jersey Celtic than the one at Hibs. There's a lot more pressure. Sundays was a big game for them. Coming in, unfurling the flag, it always tends to go a little bit flat after that. I was a little bit surprised that Scott Brown started wide right and Paul Hartley started in one, because I think Scott Brown's best position is actually in the middle, really getting in about everything, because he's never not involved in the game. You'll have seen that, Grant. You'll see where his best position is. I was a little bit surprised at that, and I think it'll take Donati especially, maybe 4 to 6 weeks to realise what the pace of the SPL is about. He was fantastic against Parma, but that was played at his pace. He's used to that pace.
I think one man who was very good, Graham, was Jamie Hamill, and even in that midfield where they lost one of the injuries, Jamie Fowler got injured, and later on they got Gary Hay, David Fernandez. Says a lot about their determination that they were still able to get a point.
Of course. I think Jim Jeffries and Billy Brown have both generated a great spirit in Kilmarnock. There cannot be a Kilmarnock fan who disputes the fact they've got a very good management team.
This is a sore one, John, isn't it?
And when you see the way, the ankle buckled, it was horrendous. We've seen that once or twice up here and down in England. I just think the spirit of Kilmarnock, Andy, is terrific. And when you think that they had 3 terrible injuries, yes, they rode their luck a bit. I think Combe made a terrific save from Zurawski, but I think you have to say Kilmarnock deserved their point.
And I think Jim Jeffries was right. This was completely accidental. But the one thing that Jim and Billy and Kilmarnock don't need coming off that terrific result is 3 or 4 players out, because they don't have the kind of squad that Celtic do, that Rangers have, and that Hearts have.
OK, guys, we'll leave it there. Terrific.